Something I thought about earlier today. I was at the gym. It is something I've noticed, but it needs its own separate video. If you look at the way that trends, popular culture, celebrities, like famous people act, um, they act in a very strange, exaggerated way. And then people, humans, see that and they copy it. So, like if you see, and it's mainly women, but gay men as well, and also like certain men as well. But people copy, they emulate what they see. And they're copying what they see on television, in movies. Now it's like TikTok and YouTube and stuff. But it's always been this way. And so people, they aren't being authentic, they aren't really being themselves. What is being authentic? Probably the closest to that is if you can remember the way that you behaved as a child. Not like 5 years old, but if you're like 8, 10 years old, but before you get heavily influenced, like, because in puberty, people do hide, like people in puberty do tend to like hide um, the way they actually look and their voices because usually they're not satisfied, they don't think they're good enough. They have been influenced by television and celebrities to think you have to look a certain way, that's the ideal, and they don't stand up to it because that's not what humans are actually like. Since they want to be accepted and loved, then they change themselves. So before this, before people are trying to go out and get their dates in middle school, or I don't know what age this is, but think about being a child, maybe 8 or 10 years old. The way that you spoke, the way you acted, the way you treated others, like, and there's still influence at that point, but being your true self. And then, like, you'll notice how people's voices, their attitudes and things change once they become an adult. This is because they are putting on a mask. They are faking their personality because this is what society, which is fake, but anyways, tells them is success and will get you adoration, love, respect. So these silly ways of behaving are not human. And what are they? Well, I'll tell you what they are. These are the personalities of demons. Actually, demons don't have too much personality. Demons really specialize in one thing, but these are the personalities of Nephilim. These are hybrid beings. They are part fallen angel and part human. And so they're a little silly. They are intelligent, but they lack the empathy and compassion, and they don't quite understand human emotions. They study it. So they understand the science behind human emotions. They understand the science they understand the science behind what makes you attracted to something. They understand the science behind, like, the way that we react emotionally to things. And so they use this science to behave in a certain way, to get the reaction they want, to take advantage of us and trick us. So they understand certain things that will make people trust you, certain things that will make people attracted to you, certain tricks and things, but it's not quite right. It's exaggerated, it's weird, and that's because these beings are not human. They are trying to copy us, but then they're trying to be more human than human, and they don't even know how to be human. So they are trying to trick us and be the ideal over other humans. So they are exaggerating what they have researched and studied to be human traits. Sarah, and so I'm saying is, oh, no. Stupid. I'm sorry. I don't like Windows. They always do this to me. Anyways. No. Oh, she's messing up. Okay, so when you look at the silly ways that famous people act or behave, or they have like a weird accent, or the way they carry themselves, and it's almost like a cartoon. It's comical. And then people see this and they copy it. Uh, they're actually copying Nephilim. They're not human. That's where these behaviors come from. And then, like, gay men are heavily influenced. Oh, that is so. That is. I'm facing the wrong way. That back there, that dog is adorable. Look at that. She just tucked herself in. Anyways, how they put on the makeup and they change their voice and they behave in a lascivious way because they understand like the way that we work. They understand the science of the human body and what gets reaction, what turns us on, and what makes us intrigued. They know how to trick us and tempt us, okay? But they don't understand the emotions behind. They're missing that connection with God. So even though they see it and they understand, they're like a calculator, they can't apply it right. They're missing something. They're missing something in their soul and spirit. So it comes off as weird. And that is why a lot of these characters and things are very odd. But then they use spells, curses and spells. They use witchcraft over these things to make us look up to them, like to make us admire them and want to copy them. So certain people will see through it, but most won't, and teenagers certainly don't. But that's where these weird, like think of like Marilyn Monroe, like if your hair is this color, if your voice is this way, if you dress this and you move this way, it's all fake. But see, they are learning this from Nephilim. Because they know what excites us, but they're not human and they don't quite understand us, so they don't look quite right. And you see this in men in a different way, but then people copy these, and it's really sad when people copy these Nephilim, the way they act. It's like very childish, because they are copying silly demon-like creatures. Nephilim are a little more intelligent than demons. Maybe they're intelligent like humans are, because a demon is a fallen angel mixed with an animal, so that's going to have a lower IQ. But they still do have some personality. They're more like your Looney Tunes characters. The Nephilim have like probably a human level intelligence, but they don't have empathy or compassion, and they don't have that connection to God. They don't, because they lack creativity, empathy, and compassion, because they don't have a connection with God. They just can't quite understand the way us humans behave, and that's why they act weird. Just something is off. And it's like a lot of your narcissists, okay, are Nephilim spirits, and a lot of what you think is sarcasm, that's just how they behave. They do not behave the way a normal human was. They're not so serious as we are. They have trouble lying in a way that is believable, so you just assume they're being sarcastic, but that's a lot of these behaviors and things, and I've noticed women are very susceptible to this, where an actress, or maybe even before then, they had plays and shows, and what was in, and it wasn't necessarily that men saw this as attractive, but it was in the ads, and then they would have pictures of men looking at this type of woman, and then their eyes would bug out and stuff like that. And so this conditioned people to believe that if you look and act and speak like this, then you will be sought after. So then people would copy this. But it never was. It was never natural. So everything has been corrupted. And it's not only the over-sexualization. It's not only infantilization. Where they made it look cool to be lazy and not care about certain things. They basically have inverted the way we're supposed to live. So, but we are waking up. The system is going to revert back to God's. This might help explain why the trends. What do you call it? The accents, the way that people speak, they mimic this is very weird. These weird slang terms and things. Where does this come from? This comes from Nephilim spirits. It doesn't come from humans. But humans hear it and they choose to copy it. So or they hear the spell, they're influenced by the spell, they're under the spell. So then they think, oh, if I do this crime, I sell drugs or something, then I'm going to be cool, I get my street cred or something, which is ridiculous. But it's just every bad behavior is respected, I guess, and everything good is devalued. Um, I mean, you don't have to know much to realize that like being a mother, being a farmer was not respected. It did not make money. But what was? Playing video games and being a slut. Those things, well, not playing video games, playing sports. But then now people play video games. But you see what I mean? The things of no value were worshipped, idolized, and the things of great value were totally devalued to the point that you're an idiot if you would ever want to do the things that society relies on and needs to continue. So anyways, yeah, I am myself. I am authentic. Maybe there's a little bit that could still change. I'm trying to get as close to myself as possible. I don't wear any makeup. I just try to be me. And I did not actually know my voice sounded silly until I started making these. I thought I had a respectable voice, but no, apparently it's silly. So, but that's okay, because this is how God made me and how God made you. And when you look at all the people that are under the spell, and they copy these spirits, these evil spirits, then they dress the same, they look the same, they do their hair the same way. If they wear makeup, they do their makeup the same way. So who knows what they even were supposed to be in the first place? And to me, I can't not see it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I mean, Amish communities in some way are a lot more authentic in the way that people will speak. They will speak more honestly. They are less influenced. But then they all have to wear silly things. I'm not trying to be rude, but they should have more freedom in what types of beards. That maybe they could wear a different size of beard. Maybe they could have a mustache if they wanted. Because this protest is gone now. You don't need to protest anymore. And mustaches are cute. Okay, maybe we don't need to wear bonnets. You could wear a hat if you want. I mean, you could wear a different type of hat. So there is conditioning there. And also they don't... a lot of these communities don't even have an English Bible. They have German Bibles they don't understand. So, no, but I do see, like, a lot of authenticity in Amish communities compared to more modern societies. That is true. You might see more authenticity, in a lot of the, like, Middle Eastern people that I did hang out with for a while. They actually were heavily influenced by certain things, and even though they were covered, some would wear tight clothes and still the makeup, and were still not authentic. So it just depends on different countries vary, but they're it's like city by city, street by street, block by block. Nobody else is like me, I guess, and that's the thing. Nobody else is like me. Because I reject all of this propaganda and the lies on how we have to change ourselves to be accepted. So I reject it. I reject it all. It's wrong. It's modern day foot binding to have to jump through all these hoops to be something you're not. In the end result, you just look stupid and you don't even look any better. But like if you work out 5 hours a day and you got huge like muscles, but then if you stop going to the gym they would shrink down, like and then normally they change their voice. Some people are taking drugs. Like, this isn't right. To be yourself, I mean, you don't need to change yourself, but you can improve yourself. You can have a healthy lifestyle but still be yourself. So the closest I can think is just how did you speak when you were 8-10 years old? How did you carry yourself? How did you treat others? Like your facial expressions, everything. And because I can remember how I felt at that age, and I did feel like myself. And that was before, because when you hit puberty, they want you to change to try to attract the opposite gender. So before doing that, but yet you still have like the coherence of an adult, I believe. At least I did. At that age, 8, 10, I understood a lot of things and I felt like how I do now. It's funny. I still felt like I do now. So maybe you guys, maybe it's the same for you, I don't know. But actually, maybe I look sillier now than I did when I was 8 or 10 years old. Okay, thanks for watching. God bless you all.